Alright, today we're here with Fisherman Greg, an expert fisherman out by Bowmanville, Ontario. And the salmon here are crazy. Alright, we're in a tributary from Lake Ontario. We're fishing for salmon. There's 5 different salmonoid species here. From Atlantic salmon, brown trout, rainbow trout, coho salmon, and Chinook salmon. But today, we're looking for Chinook salmon. Alright, did you know a huge Chinook salmon can lay up to 12,000 eggs? Did you know Chinook salmon are the most common salmon in Ontario? They can get up to 40 pounds here. Let's go catch them.
This is a Chinook salmon. You can tell based off of the black mouth and black matching gums. It is heavily spotted above the lateral line. It's a salmonoid, so it has an adipose fin unless it is a stocked fish. Both lobes of the tail, upper and lower, will be spotted. Males develop a kiped jaw, and that's about it.
So we just caught a Chinook salmon. He's not the biggest guy, but Lake Ontario is very polluted. The smaller salmon have less mercury in them than the larger salmon do. Okay, so this salmon is about a year old, but did you know Chinook salmon can live 3 to 5 years? Oh damn, there's lots of dams around here. Dams are a barrier zone that prevents salmon from getting to their breeding grounds. Salmon are a keystone species, and a lot of animals rely on the salmon.
Salmon can find their way home based off the smell of the creek that they were born in, and also basic instinct.
Alright, salmon are very important to this ecosystem. Salmon are caught by bears, ospreys, and eagles. But it's a lot more than that. Salmon are eaten by coyotes, raccoons, possums, vultures, mice, and critters. They all eat the dead salmon on the side of the riverbank. Salmon are very important here.
Salmon feed on shrimp and minnows like alewife, shiners, and the like. Salmon that feeds on a more minnow-based diet is going to have a lighter meat than one that feeds on a freshwater shrimp-based diet. That leads to lighter meat, more mercury in the fish meat as well, and overall poor health for the salmon and the consumer.
Alright, we're in a community hatchery zone. Last year, that hatchery stocked 210,000 Chinook salmon into the area, but in previous years, they've doubled that.
In a minute. Holy fuck, this is nice. Go down with it.
Yeah.
Fish coming down.
Fish.
So Matthew here just caught this beautiful female king salmon. Most people have trouble identifying the males from the females. Big problem during salmon season. Easy way to distinguish the two. Males will have a large pipe coming out the front. Most times get overhanging nose. Females, they'll get very pointed jaws, as you can see, kind of like a bird's beak. Also, a good way to distinguish most salmonoid species when they're in their river forms is they will have, a female will have a big extended gut, just carrying all those eggs that they do and what they're here for. But this is a prime example of a nice female Chinook salmon.
Alright, Fisherman Greg, what does ethical fishing really mean?
Ethical fishing would be trying to get the fish in the most legal way. Trying not to snag these fish in their fins, their pectorals, their anal fins, their tail fins, their dorsal fins. As you can see here, I am running a bit of a longer lead today, but there are guys out here that will use leads 3 times the size, just trying to get the line to go through the fish's mouth. We call that flossing. It's not technically illegal, but it's not the most ethical thing. Keep guys around here, they'll also snag fish and keep the fish.
Now, what is snagging a fish?
Snagging a fish would be if you get it anywhere but the mouth. Most people say if it's at least on the lips, it's a good hook. But if it's like in its side and someone is fighting it, it makes sense if you want to reel it in, if you don't want to lose your whole rig. But some guys end up keeping it, and that's where you start labeling people snaggers.
Alrighty. So, Greg, tell me about dams.
Dams are probably one of the big things for these salmon. When the cities developed, they built dams for their mills. Now we don't need paper mills on rivers, and these dams are just been left for hundreds of years at this point, just making it harder for these salmon to get up the rivers. They already have to deal with log jams like they're sitting here today, but yeah, it just makes it harder for them.
Alright. Next, Greg.
Some of the punishment for snagging is you can get a $1,500 fine, up to a $2,500 fine. You lose your fishing equipment, and your license can get revoked for up to 2 years. There you go. Keep going.